Good evening, kings and queens, gentlemen and ladies. This is Refined Rose back with another video. Y'all, we need to be leery when we see our abuser's dad steal their car from them. And what I mean by that, if they have a close-knit relationship with their parents, very close, and then their dad goes into their glove compartment and sees the title and registration in the glove compartment and decides to take the title and sign our abuser's name on the title to sign it over, then he in turn goes and get the title in his name, and then later the dad comes and collects the vehicle, and my abuser is like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing with this vehicle? He's like, oh, this is my vehicle. It's titled in my name now. And he just stole the vehicle from right under our abuser. And then our abuser throws a temper tantrum and start kicking around those metal trash cans, like those metal trash cans like in the 70s, and start picking them up and throwing them around and kicking and screaming, saying he's going to call law enforcement. And his felony brother that did 19 years in the federal penitentiary had to convince his dad to sign that vehicle back over to my husband because he can do some time in jail for forgery. So my husband got the car back. So their family dynamics was dysfunctional. They would get mad at one another and do little things like that to each other. So if they're doing that to each other, sooner or later, when they get mad at us, and we might not even know that they're mad at us because they don't know how to express their emotions. They don't know how to talk things out. They just respond with aggression, anger, and doing bad things to us, such as hitting us, headbutting us, pushing us down, pulling us by our hair, and stealing stuff from us. My husband even stole stuff from the house and pretended that he did not steal the items from the house, like my prescription medications, like my hydrocodone, and the stuff when you have my antibiotics. I forgot what it was, amoxicillin or something for the body, for when you have an infection in the body. The doctor had wrote a little bit over for me to give myself an extra dose in case it didn't clear up. So my husband stole my extra dose and gave it to a family member without asking me. And then when I asked him what happened to half my hydrocodone and my amoxicillin, he plays dumb, like he don't know what happened to it, and then later tell me he did take some of it and gave it to a family member that was in need. That's not my responsibility, because you have a family member that's in need because they have a bacterial infection. You don't take from your wife, you don't take from your home to go take it to another family member. Or at least you ask me, can your family member have some? And my answer would be no. Those are my prescription medications that was written for me. No, they can't have any of mine. They can go get their own medication. And plus, you told me your cousin is on drugs anyway. So did you take my drugs and you actually fed it to your cousin? And when I confronted you about it, is that the reason why you broke my finger? Y'all, the family dynamics is just weird. So we have to watch when we hurriedly and enter into a relationship without researching these people. And what I mean is get an investigator to look into the person that we're dating, their parents and immediate family members. That's what I'm gonna do, but I'm not looking to be in another relationship anytime soon, nor do I want one, because I enjoy my peace. But I suggest, and what I should have done is hired an investigator to look into my husband and my husband's father. And I would have saw that family is well known in McKinney, Texas for causing disruptions, criminal activity, and long rap sheets. The rap sheet includes the son, who constantly gets in trouble, who sells dope out of the household, and who was living with my husband as an adult, was selling dope out of my husband's household, and he had to put his son out, and his son constantly had run-ins with law enforcement. If I would have researched the dad, I would have saw that the dad had a record too, because my husband told me his dad had a record after we were married. And I would have saw that my husband has a record, and he can't keep his nose clean to save his life. He just knows some attorneys to help get him off. Or he escaped because one witness came up dead with a gunshot wound to the head, and there was no witnesses to testify against him when he was locked up in the federal penitentiary, so they let him out. So he likes to boast and have his ego stroked when he tell people, I beat the feds. The feds have a 99% conviction rate, and I beat them. To me, there's nothing to complain about. You just need to stay out of trouble, be a law-abiding citizen, and do what you're supposed to do. That doesn't give you bragging rights because you did do the crime, and you claim you did do the crime, but you got away with it because the witness came up dead with a gunshot wound to the head. So had I known this, that a witness was killed or died before he was able to testify against my husband, I would have ran to the hills with boots on with sand in the air behind me, because I wouldn't dare have married into a criminal organization family like this and put my life in danger along with my pet Pun's life in danger. So y'all, when we get in with these people, let's not be in a rush to jump into a relationship with them. Let's try to figure out what their whole name is and their date of birth, just like we will research a car before we drive off the lot with it, and find out what we can find on these folks to see if we want to stick around. It could save our life. That's all I have for now. Refined Rose out. Bye for now.